Thank you. Um, I came from China. That's my village. I grew up in this village, and now that's my national standard in my village. I wasn't good at my national standard, so I left. It's they I confess I am a failed peasant, and I'm a utter failure because I couldn't manage the water buffalo. So in my village, our national curriculum, our village curriculum was driving the water buffalo. And I know here is numeracy and literacy, but in my village is water buffalo numeracy, water buffalo literacy. And it's not easy. I don't know if you tried this. If you should give it a try if you haven't. And I did not meet the national expectation. And so I went to school instead. And so my father was not extremely happy at that time because I brought home shame. I couldn't drive the water buffalo, as some of your children who are not meeting the national expectations. You have the sign up there called Fight the Germ. That's really important. So we want to start talking about the whakapapa of the germ. Where did this germ come from? That's the idea. I've been traveling around in different countries. I think New Zealand might be the last place to be infected by the germ. So far, I know Paz was here. I saw that you have a good immune system. You just get the beginning of it. So when I look at that international teaching conference, you should really have a quarantine at Auckland Airport. Anyone associated with Andrea Schleicher should not be allowed into this land. Because the whakapapa, the beginning of germ, really has a lot to do with the pizza. Pizza is strongly responsible for that. This is the beginning of the germ, of the reform. Why do we want national standards, national testing? Why do we have them? Because we've been following this paradigm, this education model. That is, we start by describing what we think our children should be like after 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. We describe. And we call that skills or knowledge. That description, I call employable skills, can come in the form of national standards, national curriculum, whatever it is. It's something we call the outcomes. We always want our children to become like this. And then in the process, we want to make sure our teachers, our schools, and our school principals can deliver what that prescription is. And in the delivery process, we want to disregard any individual differences. We don't care about your individual passion, your background, your cultural background. We don't really care. We want you to be the same. Because what we desire is a homogenized product, which we call sausage. The other way to think about it is this. Assuming New Zealand wants to win the next America's Cup, I'm sure you do, right? So you want strong people, right? So you want mandate all New Zealand citizens shall be 1.9 meters high. That's your national outcome. It's a good target to have, right? So what you're going to do, you will hold all parents accountable for their children's height. We have a national standards of height. It's something good to have. Then we have parents. Then just in case some parents don't work hard enough, we have an annual expectation, annual measurement of their children. And if you don't grow 35 centimeters, we'll take over your children and your family. That's basically the idea. So that's how we think our education is supposed to do. How has this become global? Because then we have a global competition of sausage making. We call the pizza. We want to say who is better at making sausage and faster and with less cost. Remember those? That's how we start this competition. But we also want to be very careful. When you choose a goal, a national goal, we have to be very mindful of the outcome. Is sausage what we want? Or you happen to enjoy some bacon? When you pick the wrong goal, to go after, and it's very dangerous. So this is the goal, employable skills. We choose to homogenize our children. We think we can measure, the result scores. And this is the model we've been following for a long time. And why have we been following this? Well, because for a long time in our society, there was the necessity of prescribing. It was also possible to prescribe. About 100 years ago, about half of our population, this is 40-some% in the US, were engaged in farming and forestry. As you know, in those farming industries at that time, only a few skills and knowledge are valuable, are useful, like driving a water buffalo, okay? And at that time, not many other talents are valuable. Not many other talents are valuable. I would say Lady Gaga would be useless in my village. So what can she do unless she can drive the water buffalo? I don't think she can. The talents we need was very, very constrained. And therefore, we could prescribe the outcome. And also the society at that time doesn't change very fast. In 50 years, you still have the same knowledge, the same skills. So we do this. Then, Industrial Revolution turned our society into industrial societies. This is the developed countries. Then we become the working class. Means we become employees. We go work for somebody. And where were most of the work? It's on the assembly lines. On the assembly lines, we also needed you to have similar skills. Millions of people to have similar skills. We do not, again, need exceptional talents. Imagine buying a car assembled by Lady Gaga, you'd be very nervous. So you don't want that, okay? So we want people to follow orders, have the basic knowledge, similar skills. Therefore, we think what's important? Literacy, numeracy, we think those are important to follow orders. And we also do not want people to be creative or passionate. Because on the assembly line, we don't want you to be passionate. Remember, if you're creative on assembly line, it's very dangerous. So we want to suppress all of those things. Then we design our schools in that way. So we have our main courses. We call them core curriculum, the core courses. That's the most valuable. And the more tolerant societies would add something on the peripheral, like singing, dancing, arts, and that's what on the peripheral, right? That's basically that's the wealthy families who would add some kind of a sauce to your sausage. That's right, but it's not important. The problem is that you know very well that things change. You remember the Stone Age did not end because they ran out of stones. Okay, we're not in the Stone Age anymore. We still have lots of stones, okay? Once things change, what happens? This is America's data, but I think would mimic New Zealand and most developed countries. Since the 1970s, America has lost millions of jobs in manufacturing. They've lost 4 New Zealands, basically, in terms of jobs. What used to take 100 years ago 6 people to do, now we only need 1 person to do it. We have become more productive. And the low-level jobs, like making shoes, textile, T-shirts, they were farmed to less developed countries. They first went to the Asia Tigers. You remember those? Thailand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea. And then they moved to China. But not only to other countries. We've lost jobs to automation, to machines. Many of you today, you don't go to a bank anymore. You have this thing called online banking. Do you know how many jobs you've cost other Kiwis? Many Kiwis lost jobs because you did online banking. So you should go home, forget about your online banking, and just cut your internet cord and throw your computers away, go to the bank, demand someone to serve you, Google is going to drive your car sometime very much. So you see a lot of taxi drivers will lose their jobs. It's just changing. It's changing a lot. So we've lost a lot of jobs. So what we've lost, in essence, lots of jobs we prepared our children for. Like in my village, if I stayed, I had listened to my father, there would be no water buffalo to drive now. We have prepared people to be good employees. And we've done a very good job to make sure our people are not creative in our system. They're compliant, good employees. So for example, when our children come to our schools at age 5, 98% of them are creative at a genius level. But then after 5 years in our schools, by the time they reach age 10, we have only 32% left who are creative at the same level. We've successfully got rid of 60% of those people. Very good job. Now, teachers, age 44, we have 2% who are creative. And then by the time you retire, your creativity bounces back. You become creative again, but you will never regain at the childhood time. So our education so far have very successfully produced a lot of sausages. How good are these sausages? Are they employable? Do we like them? This news is sad. If you look, this is the most recent data about university graduates. In America, 53% of college graduates do not have full-time jobs. China is graduating 7 million college students each year for the next few years. At least over half of them don't have a job. In Korea, the president said, just skip college. It's not worth it. And in Spain, in South Africa, globally speaking, some of our best students are youth. Our so-called well-educated youth do not have jobs. So we promised them something good at the end of the tunnel. They've gone through the tunnel, they've paid the money, they finished homework, they scored well on all the tests, and they got there, and nothing is there for them. In America, on average, each college student owes $23,000. So what's going on? Well, very simple. We need bacon now. We don't want to eat sausage anymore.